May not feel like an intro, but this season 2 could have been done in one, but felt I needed to. The perfection of our conception projected through reflection that's connected is a blessing, and I needed to. Plus I need a few moments just to speak to you about these individuals whose mission to deceiving you, saying the achievable is just so unachievable, but that's only conceivable if you say and believe it's true. Protect the presence of essence with the aggression of a guard dog. Did you forget you was a god, y'all? Maybe you need someone believing you. Well, damn it, I believe in you. Not cause I'm expecting perception, I can see me and you. There's power in the questions and lessons is what I teach to you. Injecting my perspective suggested, no, I don't preach to you. Rejecting that you less than forever, know that you equal to. But this really for my people though, cause evil grows inside of the kind of minds that our ego drove. So engulfed inside of they ride, they cannot see the road. They criticize your drive, apply, they won't even go. Cause fear and faith is the only thing in comparison. One requires courage, the other desires evidence. How can what was ever determine what never been? Then again, the devil is ignorance mixed with arrogance. But we are the conscious collective. And CC, so I hope you get the message. But we are the conscious collective. Or CC, so I hope you get the message. Welcome.
Yeah, that felt good right there, but welcome. Thank you. Thank you. You are too kind. You are what they call too kind. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Q. I'm your guy, Q. I'm your brother, Q, doing our thing in season 2. Because I do it for the kids. What's going on with y'all, man? Here we go. I'm going to start off now telling you, here we go. I don't know T. I know for my audio people, y'all probably mad at me. I missed last week's recording. I apologize for that. Look, I'm sorry. You ain't got to do that. I apologize. Let me take the headphones off. I want you to know how sorry I am. I'm going to take the headphones off. I want you to know I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to take off my do-rag. That's what I'm going to do. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you as a sorry man. You understand me? A sorry man. But what's going on with y'all, man? I'm really trying this recording thing. I know I want to get my story out. That's the thing. So my show, there's power in the question. Information is information. I appreciate everybody that's listening. I don't care if it's a few people. I don't care if you listen and then you come back to it 3 years later. The show is timeless. That's how I set the show up. I want the show to be the information. That's what I want it to be. My whole goal is to try to get you to believe in yourself. The same way you believe in everything externally, I want you to believe in yourself. But believing in yourself and me calling you a God, me calling you a walking universe, I get it. Those are pretty words. There's a lot of people that give out pretty words that sound real good. Hey, man, you can do this if you just think about it. No, I'm not going to tell you that. I live in reality. I understand we're in reality. I'm not going to presume that I talked to God and the one God came down and gave me this message and he gave it to me to get at you. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to be honest with you. I try to be honest as much as I can. I ain't going to say as much as I can. I try to be honest most of the time. I believe my honesty clip is probably at 93%. 93 if I had to guess it. I'm guessing. So you could be like, are you lying now? I'm guessing. Because I always feel like, not always, but I've had this mantra for a long time. And my mama told it to me. I think she said I think that's the way she said it. But my mantra, the way I say it is, if you lie, it's because you're scared of something. Police come up to me. Do you know what happened in the... No, I don't. You know why? Because I'm scared to go to jail. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. That shit do not seem fun. You tell me what jail seemed fun to you. But anyway, but I try to be honest. So I'm not going to make up something and tell you this is where I get my message from. What I can tell you is I don't know where I get my message from. It feels like it comes from me. That's what my message feels like. The way I see things, I feel like it's coming from my consciousness. But when I talk to people and all the many people I've talked to over the years, they always make it seem like it's just something so special. They like, oh, the way you look at it, like, I never thought of it like that. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm just a regular dude. And I'm just thinking like this is how it looks to me. And I got to the point where I was like, man, it seems like, now they could be lying. Maybe they think I'm cute. Maybe they think I'm scary. I don't know. I'm a big scary guy. I don't know what it could be, but it seems like it helps. I told you guys, if you listen to season 2 of the show, that's Power in the Question, Information is Information. For my audio people, if you go listen to the audio, I have a whole story. For my YouTube people, I think I'm gonna cheat. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and just do all the episodes and just do videos of them and drop them weekly or bi-weekly for people to see them, and then just tell that story again and just cheat from what I did the first time and try to do it better. But we'll see what happens. So, but in season 2, it's an episode called "You Aside," where I got called into my job, and I called him Mr. Green. So when Mr. Green called in to the job, I couldn't help him. And he was saying like, man, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to blow my brains out. You know how some people, when they give you that, I'm going to kill myself, when they say stuff like that, it's simply to get attention because they're hurt and they're reaching out for help. A lot of times, in my experience, at least, a lot of times people have been like that. And I told people like, I've been like that in both elements where I've been just trying to get attention. I wanted some help so bad. I'm like, if I kill myself, would you help me, please? you look for any help. When you're going through something like that, you look for all the help you can. And when that doesn't even work, in my experience, it seems like the next step becomes like, I'm seriously going to do it. I'm going to commit what I call you aside. And I was talking to this guy. I talked to him for over 25 minutes. And when I talked to him, he was telling me at the end of the call, I was just, telling him my ideals and the whole concept where I believe you're a God. And even if you don't believe in God, whatever you believe created everything, you're a part of that. And I'm just explaining it to him. And I talked to him for over 25 minutes. And I'm a top performer at my job. Calls are supposed to be like 6 minutes and below. I'd be killing that. But, I know. And that's what leads to like my raise and things like that. But I didn't care. Because once I heard him say, I couldn't help him. He was like, it's okay. And he didn't say it like, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna kill myself. No, he didn't do that. What he said was, the way he said it to me mainly was, it stuck with me. It didn't seem like he just wanted attention. It seemed like he was so sincere. He was like, I was like, man, I can't help you. I apologize. I don't be caring. I'm at work. Ugh. Now, if I talk to you as a person and I'm not, at a job, just talk to you about random stuff and you just calling in. But if I'm talking to you like as a person and you're telling me how you truly feel, I'm always, I ain't gonna say always, but I try to always show, care, concern, because like I said, I'm not just talking. I don't preach to you. It's because it's perception. I can see me and you. I see that we're all connected. At least that's how I believe I see it. I'm never going to tell anyone I'm right. Nor am I going to tell someone they're wrong or vice versa. It's just your perspective and you are God. You're entitled to it. But when he said it, I was like, man, I couldn't help you. I didn't care when I said it. And he was like, oh, that's okay. I was going to take this gun and blow my brains out. Anyway, he said something like that. And he was like, okay, have a good one. And was like about to hang up. He was done. He was done with the car. I said, hey, hold on. Because now I'm in a dilemma. I'm not going to sit there and not be myself. Even though when I'm at work, I don't care. I know how smart I am. I know what I'm capable of. And, you working for somebody else. Of course, you can't tell them how to run their company. But I don't really be caring. I'm going to just do my job. I'm going to do it at a high level. And then when y'all give me some more money, then y'all give me some more money to care. So anyway. But when I heard it, I said I had to talk to him. And I'm not going to say like, 1 second, y'all. I'm checking this little stuff to make sure. Because last time I did this video for Storytime with Q Chapter 6, the reason I didn't put an audio out is because I wasn't recording from the mic. I was recording from the computer. So let me make sure I'm recording from the mic. All right, y'all. So video people, y'all know I was working on the stuff. Audio people, what up? So when he says it, it just hit me like, man, you're all right. And I talked to him. And after 25 minutes of talking to him, giving him these ideals and things that I believe in, he told me like, you just saved my life. And I'm going, now look, I'm not one of those people that's going to come up here and BS you and tell you like, man, I'm out here saving lives. I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that at all, but be real with you. But he did. He told me that, and I'm kind of humble. I try to be very humble as a person. Now, if we hooping, like I can get very competitive. I'm very competitive too. It's a tough balance being humble and competitive. But when I was talking to Mr. Green, he just wouldn't let me be humble. Even though I stayed humble, but he wouldn't accept that as an answer. Because after he told me, like, you know, you saved my life. And I'm like, man, and I told him something so, I think I was on a roll. So I was just kind of, it was corny. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was corny. I said it, my bad. It was corny. But what I told him was that, you know, if my input is a drop in the ocean of your existence, I'm just happy for the small ripple I made. Y'all judging me? No, I was on a roll. You know, I was already saying a bunch of stuff. Y'all know I be doing this off the cuff. So I'm like, let me say some stuff. Let me, you know, I was trying to let him know it's real. And he didn't really reply to that. He replied to me saying like, no, you know, I wouldn't say all that, but you know, you doing it yourself. If I didn't stop you from doing that, you're making a decision to go to, he said he had a meeting after that and he said he was going to it now because of me. So I'm like, you're going to the meeting. You're doing all the work. He said, no. I want you to realize and accept that you saved my life. I said, damn, he got aggressive. Like, you's going to take your life. Don't try to come take mine. I'm on your team. What you doing? No, but only reason I just brung that up is to say that this thing or this gift or the way I see things, it seems to be that it can help some people. You know, it can help Mr. Green. I had a call not too long ago, 4 hours and I think 38 minutes. And that wasn't because he was, you know, on his last legs. He was actually a very upbeat guy. He said he was a nurse. He's very positive. He had some good insights and just his positive outlook on life was just amazing. And we got to talking because 4 hours, it was 4 hours worth of work. I had to go through 2,200 and I forget the last two numbers, like 50 some transactions, I think. But I know it's 2,200 transactions. 4 hours, almost 40 minutes talking to him. And it didn't seem like it felt like that. It was a very good conversation. Very good conversation. He told me like, man, you should write a book. He was like, man, the way you talk. And this just happened, I believe last week. Yeah, it was last week. Because when I went in this week, my manager was telling me like, hey, your number that day. Like, but last week. So these are just recent incidents where the way I look at things when I talk to people, they seem to value it and it seems to help them. At least that's what they tell me. So if I do have a gift, if I do have something that can help somebody, why wouldn't I want to give it to you? And if my beliefs are my beliefs and I live based on my beliefs like we all do, your beliefs are more important to you than fact. And I can prove that to you so many ways. And I'm gonna do another episode about, and I'm gonna put that in there because I can go a whole episode about that. So this episode, I may explain what I call the backdoor theory, but we'll get to that. Y'all know in the beginning of the show, I like to banter before I get to the point, just talk about stuff. And then we're going to get to the real, the real low point. I'm going to try to say some stuff. You know how I do it. I'm going to say a little stuff. And then toward the end of the episode, the last like 20, 30 minutes, that's when I really, put all 10 toes down and dig deep into the point and show you what I mean. And for season two is about wisdom. Season 1 was knowledge itself. So in season 2, what I'm trying to do, I'm actually writing episodes. So when the stuff comes to me and these ideas and stuff come to me, I try to type them up and wrap my point together. So like now, how when I digress and go into a weird point, I still don't lose the point that I wanted to make from the beginning. So that's how I make this into a whole episode. So, but because of my belief and how I believe so much in the God in which I believe, and when I say God, I just mean that as a title for the creator that created everything. Whatever you call it, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be a verses in between us as reflections. So they want to know if I'm still watching. I told you guys when I do the episode, I watch some in 4K. They want to make sure I'm still watching. Yeah, I'm still watching. So I appreciate them. Anyway, so what I believe is, I believe that we are all small forms of the God that created us because we're a part of it, So if we're all gods, or we're like ingredients to a dish, or if we're like elements on a periodic table, We may be different. Some of us may be more similar than others. Some may be more different than others, but we're all here for a reason. And if, like I say in season 1, it's an episode, can something perfect create something imperfect? Think about that. If what created everything is perfect, how could it create something imperfect? Even if it created it with imperfections, by it being perfect, wouldn't it be creating it perfectly how I wanted it to be? So if I believe that we're all connected and we all have a role to play, and how we anything other than stronger together, and I see I can help you or possibly can help you, you could be a stranger I never met in my life, and you find this episode and it helps you. That's success to me. Now, if I can make 3 million or something, let me tell y'all let me tell y'all what I really want to do. I really want to get 1 million people to go through it, because it's like a book. You can go through it at any time. You don't need to know a current event. I'm not doing that type of podcast. You can go to them for that type of podcast. This podcast is an entire story of ideals, perspectives, and ways for you to get to know me. That's why I kind of make it as personal as a conversation. So just for ways for you to get to know me, all blended up together to try to get you to see the mirror in yourself. So I'm holding up a mirror to show you that we're all reflections of each other. And you know, I say our women are our reflections, but we're all part of the same glass. We're all a part of the same painting. We're all part of the same story. Whichever way you want to look at it, we're stronger together in my belief. That's my belief. So I live by that. So if I see I can help you, I'm going to try to. But the thing is, even with, like I do in season 1, which is about knowledge of self, even with that, it'd be silly, in my opinion, for me to tell you that's it. Oh, you know yourself? Go ahead and live a great life. You know yourself. You good. You good now. What else do you need? Nah. Just because you know yourself doesn't mean there's other things not going on. Doesn't mean there's not enemies that may try to get you. It doesn't mean that in moments where you may be prey and don't even know who your predator is, there may be confusion. People may try to deceive you to keep you from seeing who you actually are. And I see that. At least I believe I do. And I see it in everything, because everything I speak about, I believe, is through creation. Now, before I say this, if you haven't heard season 1, go listen to it. It's on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, probably some other stuff. There's power in the question. Information is information. Trust me. Being through season 1 and getting that will help you understand more if you understand yourself. Now, some people, you already know yourself. Welcome. Shouts out to you for how you are. I appreciate you and I'm happy for you. But I believe that everything that happens in layers. So think of it like this. And if you hear from season 1, you know. So I talk to you guys in layers because I believe that the manipulation happens in layers. Meaning that I can be saying something to you like this, where I put you in a school and I tell you, hey, make sure you listen to your teacher. When your teacher tells you to do something, that's what you do. And then I give you a trash teacher like that bitch, Miss Thompson. And that's from my season 1 people. But I can give you a trash teacher that doesn't really care about you. So then you start to see them as authority. So then authority has these negative things they want you to do, or these things that you know you don't want to do. It's just the power of putting you less than. And this is how you should behave with authority. Comply, do what they say, and they're right and you wrong. You don't have a way to speak up for yourself. When you speak up, your word is not as worthy or as valuable as theirs. So it's basically saying I can talk to you on multiple levels, and that's only 2. This is not the type of episode. But I'm giving the crux of these things. What I'm doing is, if you listen to Nature or Nurture in season 2, you'll see the start of it. Because now I'm getting into the crux of the story of wisdom. How in season 1, if you go through knowledge yourself, you get to, can something perfect make something, create anything imperfect, or can something perfect make something imperfect? You get to beware false prophets. Beware of false prophets. Very good episode. You guys should really check it out. And you get to, I believe in 20. Let me check and see what I did. No, y'all should see the crazy stuff I get. I get text. I just got text. Do you know the exact time you were born? See? All right, give me a second. My video people, y'all gonna see this. Audio people, y'all ain't gonna know. I'm gonna cut it out. So, what was I looking for? Oh, I know what I was looking for. That's some of that Jesus juice kicking in, y'all. All right, so here we go. Trying to get the names right so I can tell you guys, how you gonna tell us about a show you don't even know it? My bad, y'all. It's been a while. I'm working on season 2. Don't judge me. So here we go. So it goes, can something perfect create something imperfect? Episode 18 of season 1. Beware false prophets, episode 19 of season 1. And then it goes into, well, it's a bonus episode, My Angles Managed. But the Holy Trinity of that cleans it up is The Answer, episode 20 of season 1. So it wraps everything up. So it got into the crux of the story to show you how everything I was doing was connected. And in The Answer, I show you how everything is connected. Now in season 2, we get into the crux, and it started with nature or nurture, which has a greater impact on who you are. Then I go from there into predator or prey. Which are you in a situation? Now, granted, I did the story time with Q. I don't want to give y'all too much at one time. So I did the story time with Q. I did another episode. I just did it one day. I just sat and recorded. I think I called it We Are the Conscious Collective, where I just break down the intro and what the intro means. So now, this episode, because I told you guys I wrote for season 2. I don't care if I got to read the episode. I don't care if the rest of this episode is not going to be on video, because I'm going to read how I put it together, because I have these theories. This is the way I look at things, but I'm trying to give it to you in a way where you can really get trapped in the idea. I want it to be where I'm taking you on a journey, and every place you think like, man, this don't make sense. Man, what? I can make this sound stupid. I got it. I want to have something for every layer that you think you can break out of it. And then when you get trapped in it, you see it. It all comes back to you. You are a God, and I can prove it. That's the whole thing I'm doing. All these ideals, this whole show started with me saying, I can prove everything I'm saying to you. And I'm going to keep it going. And it's going to be connected to nature, nurture, predator, or prey. As I told you, each episode is connected. I took my time and did all this. So I'm going to try not to read every single word and say my theories. But you guys can see we've been talking for a little while now. And I'll just talk if you let me talk. If you let me talk, I'll tell you a billion ideas. I'll tell you so many theories and things like that I have. But I got to control it, because I want to keep you here too long. I want to not only keep your attention, after I get your attention, I want to be worthy of your attention. You feel me? So we are the Conscious Collective. So this episode, if you guys only knew how much I have written for season 2, some stuff probably not even gonna make it in an episode. But this episode will be called The Backdoor Theory. So it's going to be with I hit the mic. So it's going to be a question, because that's what all this is. There's power in the question. Information is just information. So my backdoor theory, I've mentioned it a few times. I mentioned it a few times on the show. Okay, so I'm back, y'all. What's up? Had to take a little brief intermission, because I just remember. No, I ain't remember nothing. So what I'm gonna get into is my backdoor theory. So I wrote it down. That's what I did. I don't know if that's gonna make a video. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't know if sitting there going, this is my backdoor theory, because I want the top reader in school. I don't know. I don't know if y'all know that about me or not. I want the guy that be like, oh yeah, Q finna read. This finna be a good read. This finna be a real good read. We know Q got this. You feel me? So I had to take a brief intermission. I didn't have to take a brief intermission, but I took a brief intermission. I needed something to drink, you know. It's a little hot. You already know if kids watching. That's Jesus juice. Don't ever forget that. What is that? Jesus juice. That's what we're drinking. So that's my, oh yeah, backdoor theory. So that's my theory I want to try to break down to you guys today. So I I wrote the rest of what I want to talk about. I don't know how it's going to come out in the video. Audio people, y'all going to like it because I've done this before. But YouTube family, this is what you get. This is what you get when I record myself, because I have the ideas. I want to get the ideas out. I want to get the point out. I want you to get the understanding. And there's Jesus juice kicking in. So I wrote it. You don't want me to forget the point. I'd be talking about all type of stuff. Let me tell you why the sediment rock actually, y'all don't want that. Probably do. But this episode is for this. So this is going to be my Holy Trinity episode for season 2. I have everything planned of how I want to end season 2 with wisdom. So this episode is going to be about my backdoor theory. I've mentioned it a bunch of times. I've mentioned it most recently in Predator or Prey, that episode, and Nature or Nurture. So I mentioned it in the episode, and this episode I'm going to break it down because I feel like it applies to everything. The backdoor theory, it applies to everything I'm talking about. And it's one of the ways I see things. There's one of the ways where I'm saying that someone can be talking to you on multiple levels. So if you are layered, and if somebody is saying something in layers, you may not be aware, or you may not be aware of a layer in which you're being spoken to because you don't understand yourself. Now, this is why I say, if you have season 2, you got to already know yourself. So the stuff may sound a little crazy, but by the time we get to the end, you'll get what I'm talking about. So my backdoor theory is to just show, or it's the next step to explain when you're in a war. Because I asked you about nature and nurture. What makes you you? Does it really matter? Because the choice is yours. What you choose to do is up to you. You know how I told you guys, if you take the D from devil, you left with evil. If you take one of the O's out of good, you left with God. All you left with is D-O. So what you choose to do is up to you. That's my little put together thing I have. So the next episode is about predator or prey. Which are you? And no matter which side you're on, a lot of the time it's predator versus prey. Because if we're both doing the same thing, if we're reflections of each other, the predator, they're trying to survive. The prey is trying to survive. If you went to your predator, if the gazelle goes up to a lion and says, hey man, I just want to make it to my kids. I just want to make it to my kids and be there for them so they can live on. I'm just a father just like you. You think the lion will say, all right, gazelle, I'm not going to eat you? Because the predator is also trying to survive. That lion needs to survive. The lion survived by eating its prey. And what I'm saying to you is the reflection or the comparison that I'm showing to you is that how many times have you been prey in a situation and you begged your predator with all the logic in the world to understand where you were coming from? And even if they understood, would it stop them from being a predator? And my thing is, a lot of times people don't seem to even know they're in war. And that's why they're losing. Not because you're not strong enough, not because you couldn't figure it out, because you're unaware. This is why I tell you in nature and nurture, I'm like Rafiki. I'm like Rafiki from The Lion King. Hit you across your stick. You don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm Rafiki. So with me being Rafiki, I have my artistic ways of trying to show you what I already see. And it's always in you. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm not saying my words are better than your words. No. It's just, if I see something, I'm going to say something because of my belief, I believe in you, and I believe you are God. I hit the little phone, y'all. So I'm gonna find my little story I wrote down. Give me a second. Oh, I can give you another thing. I have some down here also. So I was going to start with those quotes I did from The Art of War. The ones I talked about in Nature, Nurture, Predator, or Prey. So because it all connects, I'm going to do it on this one. And again, that was Jesus juice. Everybody know that. So anyway, these are quotes from The Art of War. The whole secret lies in confusing the enemy, so they cannot fathom our real intent. If he sends reinforcements everywhere he will be weak. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road to either safety or to ruins. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which cannot on no account be neglected. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Bravery without forethought causes a man to fight blindly and desperately like a mad bull. Fight the enemy where they aren't. That's the quote. Fight the enemy where they aren't. You would think like the main element to fight is to be there. Like if I want to fight you, I have to be there. Where are you? And where are you not? This is what I mean when I say the layers of knowing yourself. This is what I think when the enemy is telling you, or the combatant is telling you, I know where to fight you, where you aren't. It says engage people with what they expect. It is what they are able to discern and confirms their projections. It settles them into a predictable pattern of response, occupying their mind while you wait for the extraordinary moment, that which they cannot anticipate. Those are quotes from The Art of War. So I'm going to tell you my backdoor theory, but I have it written down so I don't miss anything. Hopefully, I just stick to the story. YouTube people, I might not like it. But if you listen to the words, this is the part of the show. Just listen to the words. You do not have to look at me now. Just listen to the words, because I want to make sure I get my message across. The concept of the backdoor theory is to allow certain ideas, ideals, and patterns to be more acceptable. I'm going to tell y'all something. I know I can't be an actor. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I know I can't be an actor because I literally wrote my own ideas and was like, okay, I can just, say it. I'm a paragraph in and I cannot figure out how to say this without sitting here reading it. These are literally my ideas. And you can say it's because you're under the influence. That has nothing to do with anything. Don't do that. Just because we family. Don't do that. Don't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it. Now, this is where I can promote my main show, the show that's Power in the Question. Information is information, where I can, get you guys to go look at that. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and some other places. And of course, we on YouTube now. So YouTube family, I'm probably just gonna have to read it because I've been trying to figure out how to just memorize what I said. These are my ideals, but I'm a stickler because I put the ideas together in a way that I feel is more palatable for you to understand. On the audio, it's gonna be amazing. On the audio, I think it's gonna be amazing because I put it together like that for someone to listen to what I'm saying. For you people watching, I love you. Go listen to the show. It's gonna say, if you listen to the same episode, go listen to the audio. It's gonna sound so much better. Because you're going to have all these problems. I'm going to do a lot of editing. I'll be working for y'all, man. That's why you should pay me. Think about it. Shouts out to my PayPal. There's power in the Q. Q is spelled Q-U-E. What else? You can support the show. There's a link somewhere on the audio episode. Go find that. Click it. Give me some money. Because if I can get 1 million people, think about it. I know I'm digressing. This is why I write the episode. So anyway, think about it. If I can get 1 million listens, I don't even need 1 million people. If I can get 1 million listens, now I got probably over 30 episodes now. I'm close to 40. That's how my age is. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm close to 40. But if I can get 1 million listens and I can get people to donate $3 for each listen they like. So I want 1 million listens where people actually went through the whole episode and like it. I can get $3 million. I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy at all. But $3 million, I can live off that. Have me a little regular part-time job so I don't get lazy. But that's the goal. That's what I would like. I told you I gave you season 1 for free, 100% for free. Season 2 is basically for free too. But this is what I'm saying. Look out for your boy. So anyway, I'm going to read the episode because for the life of me, I wrote this and it's so tough. So look, I'm gonna go to it and don't judge me, y'all. Okay. On the audio, it's going to sound amazing. So I use the art of war to basically explain to people when I say things like, man, you at a war and war starts consciously first. Like one of the sayings said, calls you to fight blindly and desperately like a mad bull. You have to think about these things. And I have these analogies. I do this show. There's power in the question. Information is information. Yes, I shout it out a lot. I think you guys should really check out the audio because the story is amazing. And if you just here on YouTube, you're jumping into toward the end. We're at season 2, and I plan on at least doing 3 seasons to wrap the story up. We'll see what happens with season 3. But the back door. The quote unquote backdoor from my theory. And when I say the backdoor, what I'm saying is it allows certain patterns and ideals to be more acceptable. I talk about that a lot. So when I say the backdoor, what I'm saying is basically read between the lines. And I usually use Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. to explain this analogy to people, but I'm not going to do this on this public platform because I know how their emotions can be when it comes to them, or at least how it seems, how people have an emotional connection to them. And I can respect that because I have a emotional connection with Malcolm X. That's one of my teachers. One of the people I looked up to. So I never met him, but just his words and things like that helped me. But my backdoor concept is basically saying that the distraction that's in your face, which allows what comes later that you may not notice, or it may take you a while to notice. So think of it as somebody robbing your place, like somebody robbing your house. But somebody ring your doorbell, knock on the door, you're a homeowner. You come to the door and they're like, you prepared for Jehovah's return? You're like, oh, what's up? You might be Christian, you may be whatever religion, and they may be saying something to keep you engaged. But the plan is to keep you engaged or distracted long enough so their true partner can sneak in through your back door and take what they want or leave something behind, like surveillance or something for you to be blamed on or something you to be blamed about later on. So think of it like, let's say you're talking to the person at the front door. They selling you a vacuum or asking you about Jehovah's return. So while you're talking to them, they're keeping you engaged. You know how you have those salespeople there where you just want to get out of the conversation, but they know how to keep saying keywords to keep you engaged and make you feel bad if you walk away. Yeah. So let's say they're doing that. So they're keeping you engaged. But the person in the back, they're going in there, they're taking stuff out your house, or they're setting up cameras in your house so they can watch you and they can survey you and know when's the best time to break into your home and take things that you worked hard for, take things that you may not even notice are gone for a long time. Or they may plant some evidence so they can come back and say, hey, this person has this in their home, and they go search your home and it's there. But it's a setup because you're not aware of what's going on in your back door because you've been so distracted with the person that came to your front door that's keeping your attention and keeping you engaged. I usually use, like I said, the analogy. I usually use Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. to explain the same thing, but I can show you the same thing with sports. And I know it may sound crazy, and if you've been through season 1, you should be good here, because season 1, knowledge yourself, because what I normally do is I always say a topic in the beginning, or I may say something in the beginning that sounds crazy, but once you let me explain it, you rock with me, you'll get a better understanding. So what I did was I put it on my screen so I can everything I wrote, I just want to make sure I get my message out. So I'm going to try to look at this on my screen and see what I have. And another thing, when I do my perspectives and ideals, I'm not trying to do this show to say, hey, you got to believe what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is the truth. There's no other nothing. No, I'm not doing that at all. This is just my perspective on things that I believe I see. So you don't have to agree. You don't have to disagree. It's just a perspective. You can hear mine and create your own. That's actually what I want you to do. So I'm simply giving my perspective and hoping it inspires, you to ask a question in a place you never asked a question before. You don't have to agree or disagree, because you are God and you can make your own perspective. I'm simply giving mine and hoping it inspires you to ask a question in a place you never have. There's power in the question. Information is just information. How you discern the information is up to you. Well, at least in my belief, but I digress. So I will use sports to show you how they can place a distraction with a pattern for you to follow that connects deeper and opens the back door for whatever this deceiver is trying to do. Look how they have people that have never played the game or didn't achieve greatness themselves, but they can define and explain what's good, bad, or what the actual player should have done for a better outcome. Yet they have no experience themselves. They think their perception is more valuable than the people who have experienced and achieved greatness. Sound similar? So because they see and believe, they speak as if they know. And their perspective is not only more valuable than a viewer who's doing the same thing, viewing, but is also more valuable than the players themselves. Do you see the back door starting to open? Now, don't be childish. Be like, oh, the back door. Don't come over here being childish. I'm trying to make a point, okay? I just want to make sure I get my point out. That's why I wrote it down for you guys. But do you see that, though? How these people that don't have the experience, they'll tell you, oh, the player should have did this. But you be like, man, when you played, you was trash. How do you know what they should have did? Or if they want to win a championship, you have no championships. How can you tell somebody to do something in which you've never experienced? Everything you tried to do didn't work. You're no longer playing, but looking at somebody who's doing it and has done it and think your perspective is more important than the players and the viewers. It just shows a pattern of strangers telling you what they themselves didn't do, but tell you should value their perspectives because they are quote unquote experts based on what they saw and supported with information that they tell you is fact. So if you're willing to believe someone telling you something they've never experienced, but if they get enough people to say and write the same thing, then you allow that information to siphon some of your God power, which is your belief. So because someone convinced you through words or messengers or messiahs, you believe it, and there's no reason to question your belief. So if you guys aren't here from season 1, you don't understand when I say words or messengers or messiahs. I tell you, you are a God, not the big G. You're not the God that created everything. You're a small G God because you are of God. So when you speak, those are traveling your consciousness. The only thing that makes your word is the thoughts you have. So if you think of a word to say, like everything I'm saying to you right now, I'm saying it because I consciously think it and then I make it happen. It's like magic when you think about it. If you really break down talking, it's magic. And I tell people your conscious is of God. That consciousness you have, that essence in you is of whatever you call God. I don't care if you call him God, Allah, Sheol. You can call him Odin. You can call him Who else? Zeus. You can call him whoever. I don't care. The creator, the one creator that created everything, or the creation if you don't believe in a deity, whatever you choose to believe. So what I'm saying is, because your essence is God, the words are the messages from God, from that conscious. So that word has an important job to do. Deliver the word of God to the masses or to whomever you speak. So if you are God and your words are the messenger or the Messiah, and I know a lot of people think of, Jesus a lot of time, or Yahweh Shah, She-Ho, whatever, right? Or if you are a messenger like Krishna or Buddha, or who else? Elijah Muhammad, whoever you are as a Messiah-like being, whatever story you read about them, think of your words as that. So imagine if, like in, the Bible, number one most read book in the world. So of course I can use that. So imagine if the Messiah, if Jesus from the Bible came down and was just lying to people. Imagine the people that followed him. Imagine if he was just saying some nonsense and just trying to convince you to do something you shouldn't be doing, or convince you to go to the adversary or the evil or the quote unquote proverbial devil, right? That's how much power that has, that a false prophet would come. That's why I tell you guys in season 1, beware of false prophets. That's what that episode is about. You should definitely go back and check it. It's amazing. But that's just explaining why when I say words, I say messengers or messiahs, because a word's job is to deliver the word of God. And remember, you are a God. So let me get back to the read. So where am I? So because someone convinced you through their words or messengers or messiahs, you believe it, and there's no reason to question your belief. You only question those who don't share your belief. And this is a belief in which you've been convinced. So people would argue with their family, their friends, like tangible people in your life that have done tangible things for you. You will argue with them. You will have and probably still going through fallouts with these tangible people who have done tangible things for you. They've shown you love. They've shown you care, concern. Yeah, you may have had issues also, but these are tangible people, and you will fall out with them over what you've been convinced to believe. That's how strong your beliefs are, because it's the source of your God power, in my belief. So if a stranger can repeat words like an incantation, but use it to manipulate those that are willing to believe in those words, messengers or messiahs, you see why I believe you should beware of false prophets. Remember I was telling you guys about season 1? So I wrote that down already, even though I just brought it up now. But you see the correlation, though. Hope so. So the distraction that they are talking about that you like or that's interesting enough to keep you engaged, consciously, I believe that accepting this pattern allows it to permeate through you deeply enough that it can help you develop a pattern of doing that. And I know I say pattern a lot. Would it be better if I use the word like habit? So let's look up some of these theories on what a habit is and what creates a habit, right? So I got some stuff on my phone for you guys too. While I was writing, I decided to look up some stuff. So the Learning Center from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill has something on their website. Their website says learningcenter.unc.edu if you want to read about it. And it says about changing habits. So they start the page with a quote from Aristotle. The quote from Aristotle says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." Then they go on to say, according to experts with psychology today, habits form when new behaviors become automatic and are enacted with minimal conscious awareness. A habit. This is what I mean when I say pattern. If you guys hear from season 1, but this is what I mean when I say pattern. These are not things where they just stand alone. This is why I say words can be messengers or messiahs. It's showing how everything is connected. And once you get that knowledge yourself, it kind of makes everything more clearly, at least in my experience and in my belief. So that's why I'm going through and showing you how it can be connected across the board. If you hear from season 1, you know I do this all the time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It says, according to the experts with psychology today, habits form when new behaviors become automatic and are enacted with minimal conscious awareness. Attack them where they aren't. Engage them with what they expect. It's the art of war. Then I went to another one. So this one is something that says on Harvard Business Review website, hbr.org, if you want to read it, you know. So it says, I just grabbed a little part of one of the quotes. It says, a habit. A behavior has to become a regularly performed routine before it can become a habit at all. The problem is that many of us try to skip the routine phase. So for me, I just enjoy information, to be honest. It doesn't matter the source. Like the source, it doesn't matter as much because I don't actually know where the source is, you know? So I remember someone said, there's no perfect messenger, only a perfect message. And I really like that a lot. I think it made so much sense. I know some people, like people that believe in Jesus or the Jesus character from the Bible, however you choose to view it, they're gonna be like, Jesus was perfect. Jesus, Yahweh Shah, Yeshua, like he was actually perfect. I get it. You believe the story. You don't know the source. You know the source of the story, but you don't know the source. Because I always tell people, when did humans stop lying? That's a question that I always have for people when people tell me that they believe something solely because it was written. I don't care if you believe it because if it was written, you discerned it through your own conscious, if you discerned it through the way you see things and you believe it, you choose to believe it. You just not believing it through pattern or habit because somebody convinced you of it. So whatever you choose to believe, I'm on your team. Just don't tell me that somebody only convinced you of something is the only reason you believe, because that would tell me personally how I see things that you don't believe in what you say you believe in. You believe in whoever told it to you, or you believe whoever wrote it, and you don't know that source. But I digress. So there's another website. So on the website, it says positivepsychology.com. It says actions that are repeated over time gradually became habits with a curious life of their own. So let me get this straight. A habit you can do something so repeatedly that it becomes a habit and it can just happen. Isn't this how I describe my patterns for my people that have been here in season 1? I tell people that if you're not consciously aware of something and you will be basically on autopilot, you will follow a pattern. So if you're not aware and making your own decisions, a pattern can be placed there if you're not privy to what's going on. I was going to do a lot of P's, but I ain't going to play with y'all. So this last one, I'm going to use last one. Okay. So there's this website that asks, what makes a habit? It has 3 essential components. The first one says the cue. The cue is whatever triggers the behavior. It can be a place, time, something you see or hear, or even an emotional state. You know about hypnotism? Any of y'all ever? You know what hypnotism is? It's suggestions. So they have cues. That's why they be like, when I snap my fingers, you're going to think you're a chicken. And then they snap their fingers. You be doing all that stupid shit. So I don't know if hypnotism is real or not. I'm not going to play with it. Don't call me on stage because I'm not going. If I learn about it acting like a chicken, we have a problem. If you can put a social cue in my mind to make me believe I'm something that I'm not, I would never give away my power like that. But it's crazy how they said one of the 3 essential components for a habit. The first one was the cue. something that triggers you. You ever notice how people talk about how emotions trigger them? But we're not going to get into that right now. So the second essential component of what makes a habit is the routine. The routine is the behavior that has become second nature. Now, if you guys are in season 2 and you listen to the audio and you heard nurture or nature or nature or nurture, but that's, and that becomes a second nature. Your nature is who you are. It becomes a second you. It's similar to my ego theory, but we're not going to get into that right now. So the third essential component of what makes a habit is the reward. I think that's interesting. The reward. So it's the cue, the routine, the reward. What you get from it. So if I can make you follow something, if I can give you a social cue, they have experiments they do like this. Like they have an experiment where, what was it called? I forgot what they called it, but it was something like whenever you do something, and these are things you can do to people too. Like there's one, I'm gonna just go to the one where you could do it to people. You could try it if you want to. So there's one experiment where they were saying that every time you do something, let's say you yarn, every time you yarn, you give somebody close to you a piece of candy. So you yarn. Hey, you want a piece of candy? Yeah. Hey, you want a piece of candy? Yeah. You can do this up until the point where it becomes a pattern or a habit for them to expect candy every time you yarn. That'd be the cue. Your yarn would be the cue. And now they will expect the candy. So the routine is that when you yarn, the routine is they get some candy from you. And then the candy becomes the reward. So you can put a habit or what I call pattern in someone subconsciously if they're not aware of it. So just like I try to do with this show, when I talk to people, I try to help people be more aware of their power. Because I can't defeat your enemy. I can't rebuke your devil. I can't make you no longer prey to your predator. Because these are your battles to fight and I have my own. But because of my belief, because of how I believe, the things I believe in, that we are all gods, we are all connected, how we anything other than stronger together, how much I value you, I could tell you I love you and never met you. So because of those beliefs, the least I can do is if I see something, say something. So if I believe I really have this gift of, my mama used to call me her understanding. And the way I see the world is just so different. It seems to be different. To me, it seems straightforward. That's why I can use all these analogies. Like if you really listen to the show and you go through everything, you can see I've used Lion King. I use that as the crux of my story for nature and nurture. I've used the art of war. I've used, and that was in Predator or Prey. I actually use it in Nature, Nurture, and Predator or Prey because they're all connected. It's the Holy Trinity of episodes. But I've used the Wizard of Oz in season 1 to show you, like in the concept that Oz was just the dude behind the curtain. You follow this path and road, or this, that's the path, the road, that's the pattern that somebody convinced you to take. Just for you to go through all these turmoils, all these trials, all these tribulations to find out that the start of everything was always in you. You wanted to be courageous. You just need an opportunity to be courageous. And when that opportunity showed, you were. You look at my favorite Wizard of Oz story is The Wiz with Michael Jackson. So if you look at the Scarecrow, he's reading great quotes from Da Vinci and Aristotle. He's reading quotes. But he wants a quote unquote brain, the thing that he's been convinced, because though his predator or his prey, if you will, or his natural enemy, the crow, because he's a scarecrow, is the one that convinced him that he doesn't have this brain he needs, and he believes it because that's the source of his power. The source of his power is in his belief. So he believed he didn't have this brain, so he go on the same journey. You got the Tin Man. He believed he doesn't have a heart because of what people talk about him and tell him he doesn't look like everybody else. So now he believes, oh, I don't have a heart. So he goes on this journey because he's been convinced his God power, which is in his belief, has been siphoned off because he's given away his belief, which makes him powerless and makes whoever or whatever he gives his belief to, makes them appear powerful. So they all go on this journey. Dorothy just wants to go home. You go through all this stuff just to find out it was always in you. You weren't even able to acknowledge your wins. You thought they were losses because you put what you believe in front of the fact. The lion in Wizard of Oz believed he was the cowardly lion. Yet when Dorothy was in trouble, he ran over there to help. The Scarecrow believed he wasn't smart, but he was the one coming up with ideas and plans to help them on their journey. Tin Man believed he didn't have a quote unquote heart because he didn't have emotions, because he's just a Tin Man. He needs oil to move. But when Dorothy got hurt, he cried. He showed emotion. The thing that he's looking for was in him because he couldn't see it. And like I told people when I did the Lion King analogy, I said I'm Rafiki. When I do the Wizard of Oz analogy, I tell you I'm Oz. I'm just not going to pretend I'm somebody I'm not. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I'm the all-powerful Oz. I'm not going to tell you to put all your belief in me. I'm first telling you, put your belief in yourself. Whatever you choose to believe in, put that belief in yourself first. Because if you believe in a God or whatever you choose to believe in that created you, that created everything, if that's perfect, how can something perfect create something imperfect? So you are just what you're supposed to be. Don't let somebody else siphon off your God power. So we can't do anything about yesterday, and tomorrow will never get here. All we have is today. So next time someone's at your front door asking for your attention, make sure your back door is secure. You may even be blessed enough to have somebody that you can trust watching it for you. But you have to first be aware. You have to first be aware of the dangers that are there. Because a lot of times I tell people like, man, we at war. And they be like, man, get out of here. And I'll tell them like, that's the reason you're losing, because you don't even realize you're at war. You have a war to win internally first. You've given away your power so many different times. And I'm just here to help you. Whether I'm Rafiki, the crazy guy with the stick, telling you, you don't even know who you are. Whether I'm Oz, just telling you it's been in you the whole time. You just got to pay attention to yourself. I don't look at myself as greater than, less than. As I tell you in the intro, we're equal to. We may be different, but we're all in this together. So that's my backdoor theory. Make sure your back door is secure, because people may try to distract you. They don't have power over you. Only way to defeat a God is to convince the God to defeat themselves, or convince themselves that they're not one. At least in my opinion. But as I always tell you guys, don't let your past bully your present into becoming your future. Because what they call pure is tampered with. The cure can't answer it. You're lost in the world looking for answers that's answerless.
Look, man, this show finna change, y'all. Spoon fed long enough, now it's game on. Flame on, Johnny Storm with his napalm. Stay calm, yeah, strong, but it ain't on. Excuse me? But there's power in the question. You'll see that the power's in your essence. Confuse me? But I found it impressive. I constantly responded and found a reflection. Is also reflective. Now tell me what is info. Disregard, you don't know what your info. Start saying you a god playing limbo. That shit I had you at odds with your kinfolk. You telling me it came from God cause I'm in rote. Forgive me, but it's hard to compress all his knowledge of self and astonishing in post. To invoke, I'm a god that's within quotes. I've been dope and my conscience a big hope. Accuse me if you think that I'm wrong when I speak with my balls, but this is his show.